Hey foodies! Welcome to the premiere of Cooking with Vincies on the all-new ANN Food channel. You know, when I was approached about this show and I saw all of the excitement and anticipation online, I thought I've got to find a name for you, our online community. And I thought, foodie, you're all foodies. If you're willing to try new foods and recipes, if you like to experiment and not necessarily follow along a strict recipe, if your kitchen is stacked with lots of spices and herbs, and you can take those leftovers and create a whole new meal using those spices and herbs, yeah, it's official. You are a foodie. Most importantly, if you are obsessed with great tasting food, or if you've ever sampled a Vincy hand, then this program is definitely for you. Food brings us together on so many different levels. And as Vincentians, we love to come together and share with our friends and family. And even if you don't have enough, someone is always willing to offer you something. And that great food that we love to enjoy each day has a lot to do with our location. We are so blessed to have access to fresh food, fresh fish, seafood, natural, local, healthy ingredients, just like you will find in the marinade sauces and pepper jellies from Vincy Fresh. And a lot of our chefs on the ANN Food channel will be using products from Vincy Fresh and also ECGC. So if you're cooking, if you're baking, you're creating all these lovely rice dishes for the season, or you're making dumplings like Mr. Asbert does from time to time, or you're just baking bread, sweet bread, etc., you can always use the products from ECGC. Today, our chef will be creating a stunning 2-course meal using local ingredients. At the end, our expert tasters will taste the meal and share their feedback. Now, I don't know if the tasters can cook, but they can eat. That much I can tell you. Now, it's said that a recipe has no soul. It is the cook that brings that soul. So bringing that soul, bringing that passion, and a whole lot more is the lady of the moment, our first featured chef, Chef Helena. Helena, congratulations, you are the very first.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I should be ecstatic or should be crying for being the first, but I'm definitely happy to be on for the first episode.
Now, Helena, I'm sure there's some people watching right now who are like, she's a chef? And that's exactly how I felt when I heard you would be the very first one. Tell us a little bit about Chef Helena, because a lot of people don't know you as that at all.
That is true. I think most people would know me as HR at the brewery, and some people would know me as president of the Employers Federation, but this is the side of me that most people would not see coming. Except, of course, for those persons who I would have catered for and done other things. And even during the volcanic eruption, I would have been preparing food for persons in shelter and all of that. So I'm sort of like the hidden hand behind a lot of stuff that goes out.
Well, she's definitely multi-talented, so we're going to put that talent to the test tonight. Let's see what we have here. We've got cucumbers, we have pumpkin, tomatoes, carrots, string beans, Christophine. We've got garlic, chicken, mushrooms. What are we cooking?
And spinach.
Spinach, yes. And here, spinach. What are we cooking?
And we also have a chicken that we're going to be roasting. So to begin with, we're going to have a cream of pumpkin soup. And we're going to be having roasted chicken served with creamy mushroom sauce. And we're going to be having spinach rice with a twist. And I say a twist because this is not the spinach rice that we grew up eating. In the end, it's going to work out as a stir fry. So, and then we're going to have a salad made of the tomatoes you see there, the cucumber, an avocado, and basil with a sort of different twist. Okay, so what I've done is that since we're people who like our meat highly seasoned, I have marinated this overnight. And what I did is I've used the garlic ginger marinade from Vincy Fresh. And the only thing that I added apart from that, I would have added pepper and salt. And this is our chicken. Now, what I did to make sure that this cooked within under an hour is that I butterfly the chicken. Basically, what you do is you take a scissors and you just cut the backbone out. And then you have the chicken like that. So to cook it, we're going to turn it like that. So if normally a chicken would take an hour to bake, this may take about 45 minutes or less. So we're going to start with this. In a minute, we've been preheating the oven. It would give us the alarm that is at the 425 that we're going to bake in it, and then we put it in the oven and get the cooking started.
Helena, earlier I saw you very boastfully walk outside and you said, I am going to my garden to get tomatoes. So I gathered that you have a backyard garden where you plant all of this. Am I right?
Actually, the tomatoes are right in my driveway in pots.
Excuse me.
So as soon as you come up, they're looking like Christmas ornaments, but they actually ripe on the trees because I like them this sweet, I think, when they're ripe. And I also went and I cut some basil right from another pot in the yard. And I have some tomatoes. Sorry, not tomatoes. We have carrots, we have green beans, and spinach from my backyard. And the pumpkin is also from my backyard, which is the last of the ones.
So I am guessing that you're definitely a supporter of growing what you eat.
Yeah, and that's for several reasons. But apart from that, I actually started a gardening group, front and backyard gardening group online. And that was occasioned by COVID, and I had to work home. I find it extremely frustrating was to work from home. And so basically, all my life, I would wake up, go to work, and then I would come home and do some things. But all of a sudden, I would have to do everything from home. I'll be right back because I think our oven just
The timer just went off, so it's time to get the chicken into the oven.
Put the chicken in, and we're putting it on the middle shelf. There's a reason for that, because if you put it to the bottom, too close to the bottom or to the top, your chicken is going to get really brown before it's properly cooked. But in the middle, you have heat from the top coming out from the bottom, and so it cooks sort of evenly without burning.
Okay, so the chicken is in. Just in case you're joining us, it's Cooking with Vincies. We have Chef Helena with us. We're having a 2-course meal. We're having for appetizer, we're having the cream of pumpkin soup.
Correct.
And the main course, we're having the roasted garlic chicken. Yes? Or is it ginger?
Ginger and garlic.
Ginger garlic. Roasted garlic, ginger chicken, and we're having spinach rice with a twist. Now, I'm not a fan of spinach, but since there's a twist, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to all of this freshness, all of the greenery in here, because that means that's healthy stuff, yeah? So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So the chicken is in the oven. What's next? Okay.
So now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get our pumpkin ready. For our cream of pumpkin soup. So I'll peel it right in this bowl.
And I've got to tell you, this is very much a cooking kitchen. It's a beautiful kitchen, very nice and spacious. You can definitely see a lot of cooking happens here. I definitely can see the catering coming out because there's so many different sizes of pots and pans, but it's a really lovely kitchen. So I'm gonna say congratulations, because I feel like I could definitely cook a lot in this kitchen.
And you're right, that's exactly what I had in mind when I built, because I like cooking. So I actually decided I need to have enough space that there's more than one person who can hold the kitchen at the same time if somebody else wants to be there. And the truth is, I think I have this passion for cooking that started since I was about 11 years old. That's when I actually did my first cooking experiment, and the result was really good. One day, my mother was gone to work, and she left us home, me being the oldest of the 2 girls who were there. And I decided, I'm going to bake bread. And my little sister was like, Mommy, tell her to bake bread. And I'm like, no. Mommy would beat you. And I'm like, okay. But I baked bread anyway. And the bread, I did everything from scratch. I bought flour, I kneaded the flour, I made the bread. And then the proof of the pudding was when Mommy got home. And then she got home and she was like, who baked bread? And I'm like, me. And I started running because I
thought the licks was coming.
Exactly. And then she tasted bread and she's like, you sure it's you? And I'm like, yes. So she said, come. I'm not going to hit you. And then she said the bread tastes really good, but they needed some more color because they was white as
Snow.
Salt? Snow, if you want to put it that way. But the bread was really good, and then she went back to work. Next day, she started showing off to all her friends that her 11-year-old daughter baked bread, and everybody was sort of astounded that at 11 I was able to do all that by myself. So that's when really my passion started. And then when I work again in the hotel industry, I was friends with some really great chefs who start teaching me different things. When it comes to pasta, I was friends with the chef, the executive chef, who really got me into pasta. So I'm really good at different pastas also.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that meal
Right.
one day. Maybe you'll be back on Cooking with Vincies to share how you prepare pasta. So we're looking forward to that. Now, Elena, you're about to prepare the appetizer. There are persons out there who think, you know what, I don't need an appetizer at home. You know, if you go out to a restaurant, you may have a 2-course meal, you may have a 3-course meal. Why should you even bother to make an appetizer at home? Why not just sit down and have your chicken with your rice, you know, the main course, so to speak? Why an appetizer?
It's actually a matter of choice whether you do it or not. But the reason why I'm really doing this is because it's Christmas time. And you know, people tend to put out this big spread, and you might be wondering, hey, I did this soup last year. Let me try. I want to try something different. So this is a good option. And this is, well, if you're living in North America, this is pumpkin season, when they do a lot of pumpkin recipes with pumpkin. And this is so easy. What I also found is that this creamy pumpkin soup is one way to get your children who normally don't even like pumpkin
To actually
to
eat.
eat it. Because I had 2 nephews, small, that came over one time when we were having something for my mother, and I made cream of pumpkin soup. And to my surprise, they were like drinking it down as if it was milk. And I'm like, hell away. He's like, but I like the soup. So it's a good way to get your children to eat pumpkin without probably even thinking
Realizing.
it's pumpkin. Now, to make a cream of pumpkin soup, you can do this about 3 ways. One, you can steam it, as I'm going to do. You can boil it, or you can roast it. Either which way you do it, it would all come out the same, basically, because the ingredients that go into it would be the same. However, when you bake it, or roast it, if that's what you want to call it, it tends to come out a bit sweet. So it adds a different dimension to it. But in the interest of time,
You will steam
we
it.
would steam it. Why I'm steaming it? Because pumpkin tend to be watery by nature. And if you boil it, it's going to be adding more water to the pumpkin. And if you're not careful, the amount of pumpkin that you actually boil would not even be enough to make your
Right.
soup creamy. So which is why I'm steaming. So this way, it doesn't add more water to the pumpkin. So now that we have our pumpkin going, we have some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be starting to cook the rice. And this is why I said by the time the chicken is done, everything else would be ready to go with it.
So let's just backtrack, Helena. We have the chicken in the oven. The pumpkin is being steamed. The water is on the stove, and we'll be adding the rice shortly. But you've put the rice to soak for a bit. Why is that?
Okay, so if you're going to stir fry rice, you want to have loose grains of rice. What soaking it for a few minutes does is start to extract the starch. So when your rice is cooked, you get those fluffy, loose grains of rice to do your stir fry, because really stir fry should be loose grains of rice. So our water is getting ready to start bubble. So I'm going to start washing the rice to add to the water. And once we add the water to the rice to the water, we're going to start working on vegetables, the spinach for the stir fry, prepping the spinach to do the stir fry. And then we're going to start doing our vegetables, peeling them to get them to steam too for our other side. So our water is ready, so we're going to add the rice to it so we can get it ready for our stir fry with our spinach. Now, I'm not adding any salt to this because the seasoning and all of that will come from the stir fry. When you're adding it to the spinach, that is where the seasoning will be done. So for now, we're just steaming our rice. Good. So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be prepping our spinach for when the rice is finished. Because when the rice is finished, we're going to drain it to do the stir fry. So we're going to wash this. I am also going to put it in my food processor together with some garlic and onion. And then we're going to add to that, once we start stir frying that, some of the garlic and herb seasoning from Vincy Fresh. So I'll go and I'll start prepping these, getting them ready to blend them, and then I'll be right back. So I'm now, we're prepping our spinach for the stir fry. So I've added 1 large onion, and I'm also going to add 3 cloves of garlic to it. So I will cut these roughly and add them to my spinach. This, as you would realize, is the base of the stir fry that we're going to be doing, which is why we call it spinach with a twist, spinach rice with a twist. And to peel my garlic very easy, you just give it a thump, and there you go. You don't have to spend whole day trying to peel the garlic, sorry. Easiest way to peel garlic. So now I'm going to put this, blend this all together so we could start the stir fry. And here we go. And this is what the texture of the spinach should look like. So basically what you're going to be seeing once you stir fry on the rice is added is these specks, these green specks in the rice. The next thing I'm going to do now is remove the basket, and we're going to, the interesting thing is that the reason why I steam this is just in case there's too much water, so that we don't have it too watery. I want to be able to control the amount of water so we get a really nice creamy soup. So I'm going to add the pumpkin now back to the same water that we steam it with, so that I could actually use the emulsion blender to cream the pumpkin. Good, so we just about blended our pumpkin. Then a tablespoon of sugar. But if your pumpkin is really sweet, then you don't need to be adding the sugar. And the next ingredient we're going to be adding to a cream of pumpkin soup is a half a cup of heavy cream. And then we're just going to put this back on the stove just for a little bit so all of this could come together. And if you notice, I have not tasted a thing as yet. So at this point, I am going to be tasting now to see if everything is good for that one. So good, but just a little bit more salt. Like that. So maybe I should ask Candice to come taste now so she could tell us how we're doing.
Well, I heard the word taste, and although I'm not a designated taster, once you say taste, I'm ready to taste, and I'm definitely ready to eat, so let's taste. Make sure it's not too hot. This is good.
What do you expect?
Excuse me. Excuse me, this is really good. Yeah, this is really good. This is excellent.
Good.
I love
So
it.
what we basically doing is just heat it up back because it would have cooled down some when we were adding all the other ingredients and blending and creaming. So, and this is really good to serve up as is now.
Okay, well, I can tell you the tasters are really excited to hear that because they're all sitting at the dining table already, just ready to start eating. Some of them have said they haven't eaten for the day because they knew they're going to be tasting this 2-course meal, and so they're ready to go. So we're about to welcome our very first taster back from a world tour. He has been all over the Caribbean, in various parts of Europe, in the UK, COVID and all. He has been traveling, tasting homemade food because you know a lot of people haven't been going out to restaurants. So he has been doing a lot of tasting all over the world. So let's welcome our very first taster, the mad one, the Fat King Madzat. Welcome, Madzat. Welcome to the premiere of Cooking with Vincies. Look at the facial expression.
I see food. When I see food, I get happy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's two things that make me happy, food and carnival with food is
So
perfect.
now it's food.
No, it's food.
Okay, and
yeah,
I see you
no.
wearing a lovely hat.
Yeah, this
there.
is the official food tasting cap. This is to help, to help neutralize the taste buds, so you're tasting what you're supposed to taste.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And I understood. And tell us a bit about this tour you just came back
Listen,
from.
you know I love my belly, see? Belly. I love my belly. And once you say food, they call me name, you know what I mean? So I was tasting, but when I hear as Bud see have this show and he want, a taste, I say, boy, I'm coming home because, no food could test Vincy food. So I come here and the cooking with,
Cooking with
Vincy to taste Vincy cooking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And you came and you brought a bag. And I'm very interested in what's in that bag.
You will see why in the bag later. The bag, when the bag come out, just tell the chef, consider that a compliment.
Okay, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's
Yeah.
get started.
Right.
This is the appetizer.
This is the appetizer. And what
Right? Cream
and
of pumpkin soup.
cream of pumpkin soup.
Cream of pumpkin
My
soup.
favorite vegetable in the whole wide world.
Okay, great.
Pumpkin.
Let's actually, if we could just invite the chef to be on standby
Mm-hmm.
right here because I don't know what Mazad has planned. Anything is possible with him.
All I plan to do is eat. And when I eat, if I like it, you go, no.
Okay, so you have your spoon there and
I
you
have
have
my spoon
your
there
bowl.
and my bowl.
Before we get started, what exactly are you tasting for? What's really going to do it for you?
As I say, when I taste food, you know what I mean? You're supposed to taste all the different ingredients together. And no one ingredient really except the main ingredient. Obviously, when I taste pumpkin, I'm supposed to taste pumpkin. But I'm not supposed to be getting in isolation all these other things. I'm supposed to just get this cascading kaleidoscope of flavor and the pumpkin.
Okay, okay.
So
I'm allowing you now to dive in.
dive in.
Mazad.
So this is my
That is
spoon
your
here.
spoon right there.
And this is the
This is
pumpkin
Let
soup
me
there.
bring
Bring it
to
closer.
you. There you go.
I could put the bowl to my head.
No. I mean, it's really good if you put the bowl to
Yeah,
your
that's
head.
it. So you go down here.
I guess that's good.
You should bring the bag now or you bring the bag later.
Well,
Because this is the appetizer, you know.
To see what's in the bag. This is the appetizer, yes.
So this is you bring the bag now or bring the bag later.
What's the link between
All
the
right,
bag and the bowl?
this is what happened. Let me bring it. Now, as Vincentians, we're Caribbean people, when you go to a function and the food is good, you have to take some home. But we just take home food in a special way. Once you go to a wedding, you have to always have a black plastic bag. Not any plastic bag, a black plastic bag. And in that black plastic bag, you must have an ice cream bowl.
I love it. I love it.
Ice cream bowl.
Mazad brought his ice cream
Cream
bowl.
bowl. And when you bring an
Cooking with
ice cream
Vincies.
bowl,
He's going to throw
it
it
simply
over.
means that you want more because
It's so good.
the food is good. So, 10 out of 10 from Madzat for the pumpkin soup by Chef Helena.
Awesome.
Ah, boy. Is there any more for the rest
Not
taster?
for you. We have other tasters as well.
So I just take this and go.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. And we're back cooking with Vincies. Now we're tasting the appetizers. We just heard from Fet King Madzat, who was totally blown away. He brought out his bowl. We'll see what happens later when the main course come out. Now we have Elika. Elika is going to be tasting the appetizer as well. We want to see her reaction. I don't see any evidence of a bowl or anything.
I didn't bring any bowls. I came with my stomach. That's about it.
And I heard you were one of those that didn't eat for the day either.
No, I did not. I knew tonight was coming, so I prepared myself properly.
Prepared your stomach. Okay. Well, I'm going to allow you to dig in. This is the appetizer. It's the cream of pumpkin soup. Go right ahead.
Flavorful. A hint
Flavorful.
of ginger.
Definitely.
All
So
right.
Chef Helena,
All right.
let's come and have a chat.
All right.
Definitely.
Hint of ginger. So she said flavorful. That's a really great word when it comes to food. Anything else?
Flavorful, nice and creamy. Quite enjoyed it. And I'm not usually big on pumpkin, but this is delicious.
Oh, great. Thank you. And the thing is that, which is why I was saying earlier on, that is something that you can get your kids to eat without even thinking it, is because there's not a lot of seasoning. And it's kind of a balance between savory and sweet.
Definitely.
And so children would tend to gravitate to it. There's not much in it. There's just some ginger, a hint of ginger. There's heavy cream and onion. Little bit of onion and garlic. And that's basically about it.
I like that it's a little on the sweet side, because when you taste pumpkin soup, they usually go for salty, maybe add a
Yes.
little pigtail or something soft.
Right.
So I quite enjoyed that.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, fantastic. I'm going to allow you to take the bowl away with you.
Thank
and
you.
enjoy it in your own time. We're on to taster number 3. Roselle,
Hi.
you're number 3.
Yes.
And we're about, well, I should say, you're about to taste the appetizer, the cream
Okay.
of pumpkin soup. First of all, are
Okay.
you a fan of pumpkin?
I am. And yeah, I am, but I like variety with my pumpkin. You know,
Okay.
it could be plain, but I like when it's jazzed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to go ahead and taste. And
Okay.
when you taste, I want you to tell me the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You
So
ready?
go in.
Yeah. Dig in.
All right. Okay. Can I go again? Can I go again?
It must be that
Okay.
good, yes.
Let's go again. Right, I just came from work, right? So I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go back in.
Okay.
Okay. this is just a rule, so I could just eat some pumpkin soup.
Right. Let's see how many times more she's going to go in.
It's creamy. It's homey. Like when you're
Nice,
home,
cozy,
yeah.
comfort food.
Like what I would want to take with me to when I get home, and I could just relax after a long day's work. That's it.
Okay, well, I think you need to meet the chef. Chef
Oh,
Helena,
okay.
step on up. So Chef Helena made this amazing appetizer, and I'm sure she can go into a lot more detail as to what she put in there to create that burst that you just had.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I've added to it, and it's sort of a minimalist cream of pumpkin soup in the sense that it doesn't really take a lot of seasoning. At the base of it, you have ginger.
I did taste that.
Then there's garlic, but just a little bit, and onions. And apart from that, you have a bit of sugar. Usually, if your pumpkin is very sweet, you don't even need to add any sugar.
Right.
So it's a balance of between savory and sweet, as you would have recognized
Yeah.
when you were tasting it earlier.
Wonderful. I enjoyed that. I did.
Well, you can continue to enjoy it. You can take the
Well,
bowl
there
with
you
you.
go. You don't have to tell me twice.
Okay, so during that time, our rice is finished, and we have a bowl of rice ready to do our stuff, right? Spinach with a twist. And also, while everything else was going on, I was checking on our chicken, and it's almost done. And basically, what I was doing is scooping up the dripping from it and pour it over it so that it remains moist and not dried out. So in a bit from now, I'll turn off the stove because our butter is done. Because as I said, normally, if you butterfly it, it takes less time to cook than if you cook a whole chicken.
Okay, okay.
So we're actually on the home stretch. In a while from now, we're going to be dealing with our vegetables. And then we're going to do our stir fry rice last because we want this to be hot when we serve it up.
Now, Helena, I know you're into the cooking, but I would like to think that you have some insight into the best wine or drink that may go with this type of meal. Am I on track here?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so what would you suggest? And I hope you have it in the fridge because I would like to taste it.
No,
Oh,
I don't have it in the fridge. But yes, I think a Chardonnay would really complement all of this really nicely.
Okay.
Yes, and then you're going to have the creamy mushroom soup, which we're supposed to be doing, and that we're going to be making from the dripping from the birds. So everything is going to actually be used up, and you're going to get more chicken flavor into that creamy mushroom
Nice
sauce.
Chardonnay. So if you're trying this on a Sunday or you're making this, okay, so turn again. So if you're trying this Sunday or any Sunday, or you're making this part of your Christmas Day menu, make sure you have some Chardonnay, a bottle of Chardonnay or a few bottles of Chardonnay on hand to enjoy with this meal. Okay, so let's proceed now to the vegetables.
Yep.
Yes?
So the next thing we're going to be doing now, we're going to be peeling or getting or prepping our vegetables to get them steamed, and then we're going to, while they're steaming, we're going to go to our rice.
Okay.
So we're going to start. I'm going to start peeling these to get them
Let me just move
ready.
this.
And let me get my vegetable peeler. I had it just now. No, it's not over there still. Oh, there we go. My vegetable people. So I am going to remove these tomatoes that I pick from right outside in my driveway and my basil. And then I'm going to start peeling my carrots. That's just the better side to start peeling. This is much sharper. What I'm going to be doing with these, once they steam, I'm going to be drizzling them with some garlic oil that I make. Once it's a steam and you drizzle that garlic oil over, it tastes as if you've been slaving around them all day. And basically, it's just some oil that you made and you have put up, which I do from time to time. Just to make the garlic oil, all you basically need to do is just mince a whole ton of garlic, but don't mince too small. And you just put like maybe 2 cups of oil in a small pan. And once it's really hot, then you add the garlic. Just about when the garlic starts turning gold, then you turn it off and you remove it from the heat. And you pour that out into a bowl. Once the oil is hot, then the garlic will continue to get a color. And you can store it for as long as you want once it's in a tightly sealed jar. So we have now prepped our carrots, our Christophine, green beans, and zucchini. I'm now going to put them to boil for a few minutes, and in about 7 minutes these should be ready, because I particularly like my vegetables with a crunch. So a little snap in them when I bite through. So in a few minutes these will be ready again. To our spinach that's now cooked. The rice. Combine them together. And if you notice, the rice grains are loose. It's a lot of rice there.
It's the moment we've been waiting for. The finished product is here. The table is all laid out with this absolutely delicious spread. Chef Helena, walk us through what we have, just to remind the audience what we were cooking throughout the evening.
Okay, so what is missing is the cream of pumpkin soup, which we had earlier on, which helped while we wait for the others to finish. So we have our roasted chicken that was marinated with the garlic ginger seasoning from Vincy Fresh. And we have our spinach rice, as I said, with a twist. We have our salad, sort of a Moroccan twist. We have the tomatoes, red onions. We have basil, feta cheese, and avocado. And we have our creamy mushroom sauce, which was flavored with the drippings from the chicken. And we also have our steamed veg. So
Okay.
we're done.
We're done and we're ready to dig in. We're gonna welcome the tasters in. They're just gonna come, grab their plate and start piling it on, and then we'll chat with them to get their feedback. So tasters, I know you're eyeing us. Please come to the table, you know, put down the drinks. They're gonna come to the table and start digging in. Chef is about to cut the chicken. So they're streaming inside. Yes, that looks really succulent. Elika and Roselle.
Step in here before Madzak eats
Yes, step in before Madzak takes everything and goes. Because remember, in addition to his plate, he has a special bowl. Probably a bigger bowl than the last time. So, what a phenomenal evening of great tasting food. The chef definitely had a great time cooking for you and of course for the tasters. We Vincies definitely know how to cook, or I should say Chef Helena definitely knows how to cook, and we can see everyone, all of our tasters here are enjoying themselves. They can't even stop chewing. Before we go, guys, how do we rate it? What rating? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Madzart is getting his bowl, so that means yes, thumbs up. But we got to get the bowl in the shot. We just have to get the bowl. Yes, yes, and the bowl means thumbs up. Thank you so much, Chef Helena, for being here with us this evening and cooking up this great spread, which tastes so good. We'll catch you next time. Bye bye.